Alrighty, we'll call the meeting to order. Review the agenda for additions or removals. Anything lost?
Thank you, what do you guys?
The Harvey Road got took off of there, we're not? Harvey Road on there?
No, it got taken out. We need more information before bringing it for discussion.
Okay. Public forum, opportunity for citizens not on the agenda to briefly share comments or concerns. Paul?
Well, we're here this evening about the sidewalks in Bristol. My wife took a fall nearly 3 weeks ago, quite a serious fall. Incurred some medical expenses that weren't covered by insurance. And the healing process has gone much slower than we had hoped. And we don't want to see that happen to anybody else. Now, Ian is out on the sidewalks a lot, he's seen these. And the sidewalk, the section of sidewalk that it happened on was up by the library. There's a tree had grown out and it has pushed the sidewalk up, and there is a great trip hazard there. And there's many of them down through North Street, that's very well traveled. Now we have in the past got the forks under the slabs and moved them up and leveled them out so that it was a gentle slope, or put coal patch on them. Both are a temporary solution, and the one moving the slabs, they often break, so then you have to repair the whole thing. But I would like to see Mike Menard Commission, shall we call it. Probably no one knows the sidewalks better than the former road commissioner. He's gone up and down, and you can see all these sidewalks that are out of level, big chips of concrete out of them where the plow is in them. So I'm sure he knows them. And I would encourage the board to maybe set up a way to evaluate the sidewalks. Ones that are really in need of replacement, temporary repairs maybe, so that you can set a schedule for replacing and repairing these sidewalks.
There's actually a whole section missing on North Street.
So I just don't want that to happen to somebody else. And I've tripped on that exact same one myself. I was fortunate enough to catch myself. But there are many of those around, and people that use the sidewalks every day know where the hazards are and probably avoid them. But
I think we should probably, Eric, do you want to look into seeing about getting something to plane those off, or are you thinking we want to replace them?
I'd have to look at them to see.
I mean, Christine sent us a picture of the one that we're talking about.
Yeah, I went 3 weeks of healing. Actually, I missed out on a week ago. And the sidewalk is horrible.
and I know I sat on that side of the table, and it's really, it's hard to balance all this stuff. And I appreciate that you watch out for taxpayer dollars.
Well, we do have a fair amount of money in our sidewalk fund, and I don't think we haven't done any sidewalk in 3 years.
3 years.
East Street, but we have the sidewalk for the Mount Aid that we have to pay for. Yeah, I don't know what's in the sidewalk.
Yeah, the only other thing we used sidewalk money for was Main Street.
Yeah, I mean, we have a good amount of money in that fund, but we haven't been proactive in terms of using it over the last at least 3 years or more.
Well, we've also had difficulty getting people to come and do it.
Right, that's only part of the problem.
Well, right, I understand that,
It is on us, like, the town hasn't been organized to do replacements. the particular sidewalk you're talking about, and I'm very sorry that it happened, that was, you know, we did an inventory probably about 2 or 3 years ago, so we do have sections, we do have a full inventory of what needs to be replaced. That one is marked, but it's not marked for replacement, just because other areas of sidewalk that are far more damaged or are holding water become priorities. But I know like, the exact sidewalk that you were talking about even before seeing the photo and the email that we received. And I don't know what our policy is in terms of fixing things like that. Oftentimes, obviously, the Public Works would have to look at it and see if it's possible to grind it down or if it's a full slab replacement. But I think, obviously, given that something like this happened, we need to address that immediately.
Amos?
Yeah, I feel that technology's come a long ways from forklifts and muscle weight. There's spray foams that are made for leveling concretes and driveways and things like that can be looked into too without having to really bring in heavy equipment and expertise. I don't know who does it around here, where you get that stuff, so.
Meredith had the
Yeah.
sidewalks done out
We
here
had
in
a
front of
company
the,
that came in to raise the ones by the steps before you go up to Holly Hall. Yeah,
so we know they're out there. So I think that's the two options, is to look into seeing what, if we can plane it, or if we need to raise it, or if we need to replace it. One of three things has gotta happen.
And then looking down the road, I've noticed a lot of fairly new trees have been put in around sidewalks. And
Yeah.
is this going to be happening 30, 40, 100 years down the road where these new trees have now created a problem?
The trees that they picked are supposedly, aren't supposed to do that. The roots, my understanding was the roots are not supposed to go that deep, that far.
I saw a
That
couple
was,
oaks,
yeah,
new oaks show up on First Street, so.
I don't know what was put in, but I
Be
think
worried
that was
about
one
the
of the
oaks and the
discussions we
maples.
had with them, was, you know, we wanted to make sure they weren't going to do the damage that
Yeah.
the current trees are, but.
And then my next concern is, I know there's a new sidewalk study coming up for West Street.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that money coming from the sidewalk fund, or is that coming from somewhere, another grant, or?
it's a grant and we pay a certain percentage. The town has a certain, I think it's 25% is generally what we've paid for the studies.
Okay.
And the rest is grant funded.
I would just hate to see the money that we have existing
Yes.
stuff before we make new
Correct.
and
Yeah,
continue this road.
Yeah, we try to balance that out as much as possible in terms of being able to sort of move things forward in particular areas that do need those studies. We felt that particular area, just because there is no sidewalk directly leaving Holly Hall and then stepping into an area where you're driving in to get gas, as well as in front of the post office, we felt that was an appropriate use of some of those
And
funds. But
Absolutely.
yeah, but we're very mindful of that.
Yeah,
And
perfect.
there used to be sidewalk there.
Right.
There used to be sidewalk from the corner all the way down through. And as things have evolved, it hasn't got back. So,
Yeah.
I think we can assess on a short-term basis on something that, you mentioned foam and other materials or something like that to either grind or bridge that gap. I'm sure we could probably do an assessment and find a temporary short-term fix so this doesn't happen, and be mindful of the long-term fix. And I'm sorry this happened.
Yeah, North Street is horrible, and actually, knowing all the people that I talked to in the restaurant, they have walked it. And just, this looks good compared to what it did 3 weeks ago. And they have walked it, and it's just horrible.
Okay.
And I've walked the streets with both of my dogs for
forever.
forever.
Yeah.
And the sidewalk is horrible.
So we will put it at the top of our list to get that, to get something done there.
Yeah, something short-term. I saw the picture that you sent, and I would have tripped and broke my face too, so
Yeah.
it wasn't.
If you're not walking with your head down,
Yeah,
and if you have a dog and you're paying attention to the dog,
totally understand.
Well, I had a leash and I had a poop bag, and then there's a big stub in the sidewalk, and I'm like face planted.
So,
Not fun at all.
no.
I actually went for a CAT scan today, so it's, nothing broken,
Okay,
just not good.
Well, we'll see if we can find a short-term temporary fix, and
Sounds
then
good.
mindful of something
we
long-term.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you for listening and
yeah, no problem.
Sorry it happened, I don't-
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
okay, thank you very much.
Anyone else for public forum? Alright. Department head roundtable. Public Works, Eric.
Let's see, Bagley's is in, mowing over the guardrails, it started today. So we'll get all the behind the guardrails and everything all done. McCullough, I met with McCullough today down at New Haven's Pit, they're gonna be moving in this week. So they should be ready to crush either Monday or Tuesday, they got a screen they gotta change out. But then they should be ready to crush either Monday or Tuesday. And we're doing right around 4,000 yards of gravel. So and I got lined up trucks to haul it up from there up to ours, up by the shop. Trying to get the roads all shaped up before we start crushing, because once we do, everybody will be tied up doing that for the week. So trying to get them all shaped up now, or what we can get shaped up. Still doing roadside mowing, winter sand is about 2/3 put up. Still waiting on a price of salt, they haven't got that from the state yet. And then just normal routine maintenance and things of that nature.
So just so everybody knows, the reason we're trucking our gravel out as it's crushed is because they're doing everything in New Haven's portion of the pit. And once we get ours out of there, once we get ours crushed, there wouldn't be room for theirs, or if they crush theirs first, there won't be room for ours, so.
Yep.
That's the reason it's being trucked up to Pine Street. That it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Bruce?
So we're staying busy. Within the last month, I think it was a month, time's going back quickly, we've had 3 transports where we had to go to the jail with an individual. And then this past week, I spent an hour and 40 minutes at the courthouse until somebody relieved me with a person that I had to bring up. There's been some changes on whether the sheriff can get reimbursed by the state, and if we call them, now we have to pay. It's a 4-hour minimum, and you have to wait for somebody to come pick the person up. So we've been transporting. That's the best fix that we have at the moment. I have Francis at Death Investigation School this week. So I'm covering shifts for him, and so is Andrew.
Has there been any movement on the 4th person looking to fill that position?
Anybody who's been interested, once they find out that they can get paid better elsewhere, they stop looking or inquiring.
Bummer.
Wonderful.
Mhm.
But
We're such a good little
it
town.
is, if you know anybody that's interested, one of you wants to come work at the academy?
I'm too old.
I go to the academy all the time, but I go to the other side.
Do you know how many interested parties have you had? I mean, is it out there in terms of, so people can find it?
Yeah, people can find it, people know, I mean, unfortunately for us, we're small.
Yeah.
And everybody is looking to hire, and when you
Very
start
competitive.
looking at the benefits and the salary, we just don't compete.
Is there room to adjust that salary, given that it's the cost grant, that we have that funding in
We
place?
only got so much money.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
We can adjust it, we have to come up with it.
Right.
But if, you know, if you adjust that one position.
You have to adjust them all.
Adjust the others.
Yeah.
You can't just do
It's a market.
It's
rate
part of the
across board.
contract. Mhm.
So,
Okay.
Alright. Fire, I don't see Brett.
Correct, won't be joining us this evening.
Yeah,
Alright.
meeting already.
Water and sewer, Jill,
Hello.
good evening.
So we will be resuming hydrant flushing again next week. The exact dates will be determined later this week as we're waiting for a little bit more equipment to arrive to do a little bit of gauging while the hydrants are being flowed. The other observation that I had after some flushing last week and some fire drills and whatnot would be probably a little bit more communication when certain drills are being done to understand the volume of water being used and whether or not that might impact pressures throughout the water service zone for people to possibly lose water service. So I was talking to a couple of firefighters last week and said, boy, I got a couple calls about people not having water on a couple different streets during drills. You know, like how much water was flowed. And it was several attachments to several hydrants. And so the observation from the firefighters was, hey, we didn't have as much volume of water as we would have liked to have had. And then on the opposite side, the users in the water system were like, hey, I didn't have water. So we are working on the hydraulic model with the engineer as part of the water system upgrade project. So we're going to pay particular attention to what those future flows will look like based on the line size upgrades. And then I think need to have the conversation with fire to understand, is that adequate flow for fire protection based on how many hydrants and how much flow is needed so that the correct size lines are put in as the upgrades are happening. Right, so that the model works better for any anticipated flows. So that was just the observation. I did talk to kind of vaguely to a couple different people at the state to say, you know, is there any kind of additional funding if we're trying to achieve fire flows and needing to upgrade sizes for that? And is there any concern, for instance, if we end up with negative pressure in the water system when we do need to run higher fire flows? And they said, you know, it's a growing concern for water systems that also provide fire protection, and they're trying to figure out how to provide the best guidance and funding moving ahead. And they're interested in input. So continue to learn and grow.
Any questions for Jill?
No.
Alright, thank you, Jill.
Thanks, Joe.
Consent agenda. Public display and public assemblage permit approval for Bristol Harvest Festival. Authorized grant application for up to 30K with 10% match to support a municipal planning grant. Approval for the town administrator to access to the bank account at the National Bank of Middlebury. Approval for the town of Bristol credit card usage policy. Approval for past meeting minutes, that one gets me every
I'll just switch, I'll switch it.
Authorized warrants and any liquor or tobacco license.
And we have a liquor license, right?
Yes.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
One second.
Have a motion and a second.
We don't have meeting minutes, so.
Okay, so we're gonna pull that one.
Is it up there? Did you say it was up there?
No, I didn't send it. to
Okay,
you guys, I'm
alright.
sorry.
So can we
We
take
can-
that off?
We could punt it.
Okay,
Alright.
punt it until next month
Yes.
or next meeting.
Yes,
So we're pulling the 8:25,
Yeah.
25 minutes.
yes.
The Harvest Festival, I'm assuming that's the same as
Same as
always.
last year.
That's-
I don't know if Meredith is on.
Meredith is up
I don't know
there.
if she has anything to add for that.
Meredith, that's all the same, right?
Yeah, it's all the same. The one thing that we're not doing is the 5K race this year.
Right. Right.
Oh, and no trolley ride this time. Yeah. But everything else is 75 vendors, Lots of good vending, food, and music.
Okay,
Awesome, thank you. And
what's the
what's the
planning
planning
grant
grant
for?
for? Yeah.
Yeah, I looked at it, I was like, okay, what's this for? Anybody know?
It's our town, so the last one we had was completed in 2020. You had made plans prior to COVID happened, and then the whole plan kind of got,
Is that the town plan?
Yes.
We're talking about the town plan, okay.
When does that have to be
Renewed.
it's every
Did we do it
5 years
temporary?
or 7 years?
I think it's 5, but didn't we do a renewal, a
yeah,
temporary renewal or something?
2027 is technically it's up, but given kind of how we're positioned now, we need to reorganize and get a different plan going.
Okay,
Um,
you want Greg to have access to the town.
credit card, oh, yeah. Giving Greg access to our funds, I don't know, we may have to rethink that.
Credit card
And
usage.
the credit card usage policy, what's the,
So we had an outdated credit card policy that went back 10
What year?
years, something like that.
The 90s.
Yeah, it was super old, and
Were
so
there credit cards back then?
Boy, we are right on the ball.
there's a lot of policies that are outdated, and
Yeah.
so I'll talk about more on town report, but it's just something we need to update
Yep.
for our grant fidelity
Mhm.
and so forth.
And it allows us also to more flexibility on what credit cards we have.
well, I can remember when we didn't have a policy, so. At least there's that.
That tells you how old you are.
Oh, boy. And then the warrants are how much?
88,796.75. And then
And
covers liquor license.
Liquor license for 2 hours. Jessica, anything?
Let's give them the liquor license.
All right, hearing no other conversation, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
You're right on the ball.
Hey, that's me. Interview and consideration of Development Review Board candidate Ronald Tatro to fill a vacant seat that runs through March of 26 or 27.
So you
Or
get,
do you
so
want
you get
both?
to choose?
This is an alternate, so the board is full, but this would be for an alternate
This would
position.
be for an
And
alternate.
oftentimes people will step off and then the alternate, yes, an alternate, if they'd like to become a full member.
You wanna come up or you wanna just sit back there?
I'm really comfortable here.
All right.
Questions.
Well, I get the question, the first question is always, why?
I'll do this very quickly. Raised in Virgins, Vermont colleges, professional career here. 20 years ago, we moved to Michigan. My wife took a job at Michigan State University, graciously invited me to go along with her. We both retired and have moved back. Looking for a place to live. Happened to run into this guy over here, Chris, who convinced us this was the place to live. So we built a house and from lot, and these people called Heffernan, I think. And we're on the backside of his cornfield, off J Drive. So my professional experience has been in government, municipal government, state boards, nonprofit boards, hospice boards, those types of things. So for the DRB, what happened was that socially, I know Rebecca Cole, who's on the board. She talked to me several times about thinking I could make a contribution. Came in and talked to AZ, and she said the same thing.
Mhm.
So because of periodic shortages, people being gone and those types of things. So they encouraged me to apply, and perhaps I can make a contribution to the town this way.
Well, and I know you went to the last meeting and you didn't run, so guess it was okay, huh?
Well, like everything else I've learned on all these boards, it takes a good period of time to learn and get up to speed. And, so it was first day of the training session.
I don't have any questions. I make a motion to appoint Ronald Tatro to fill an alternate seat. Do you wish to be until March of next year or the following year?
Probably 27, it'll take me that long to learn the ropes.
So 27.
Second.
Motion of second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carried, my condolences.
Thank you very much for serving. We do appreciate it.
Yes, we do. Somebody who sat here for 2 hours 2 weeks ago and didn't get heard.
We're all ears now.
Peace Garden renovations, plans and update. Silas, would you like the floor?
Sure, so as many of you are aware, we're gonna be replacing some of the timbers of the raised beds in the park. Peace Gardens, if you're not, well, you're all probably familiar. Yeah, just the kind stewards of the gardens approached me last year talking about some of the benches were rotting and stuff, and I actually replaced one of the benches that was completely rotten just on my spare time. But anyway, we did an estimate and kind of, they raised the money. So anyway, we're jumping into that project these next 2 months. And I just wanted to make sure the town was fully aware, make sure there weren't any concerns, but also just talk through some of the logistics of what the scope of the project will look like. There's 7 big beds. We're gonna try and just tackle 1 or 2 at a time, and hopefully, minimally disturb the park by removing timbers fully, and I've got dump trailer. We're gonna be manually removing some of the timbers onto a timber cart that can roll them to the sidewalk or to the edge, but then I will use a skid steer to load them and unload the new timbers as we bring the new timbers in. So I wanted to just talk about just some safety precautions, some parking allocation for that, when we need it. Hoping to talk with Bruce a little bit about just some parking cones and
Are you doing most of that from School Street?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's right on the corner, so.
Right, you're not gonna be on
kind
the.
of-
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't anticipate, needing to block any traffic. It's just really
Parking spots.
taking the,
And now, will that be like just for the day, or is it gonna be like day at, or I should say day at a time?
yeah, a day at a time. I mean, occasionally I might wanna leave a trailer overnight. I'm really gonna try and minimize any kind of mess. While we're working, I'm planning on staking out around it and just putting caution tape. And, we're gonna work with a couple local school groups. They're gonna make some cool signs, hopefully, about the project. We're replacing the existing timbers with black locust timbers. There's a caveat right now that we haven't actually found all the black locusts that we need for the project. So if anyone has any black locust trees they would like removed.
I don't know if I had one.
I know locust trees, I just don't know if they're black or not.
I've gotten 2 leads in the last 3 days, and I've left notes on strangers' doors about their locust piles.
You don't know me, bud. And I cut down your tree.
But so there's a little bit of to be determined. If we can't come up with the locust, we might do 3 of the beds this fall, and we'll come back and do, we'll do them as much as we can.
Is it a full rebuild of all the beds, or is it?
That's full rebuild.
And will they look the same as they are?
Yeah, keeping them the same. We're gonna not disturb we're gonna do as minimal disturbance as possible to kind of keep with the integrity of the original vision there.
Is it just the wood, or is it any of the stone that's in between in terms of?
Stone's gonna remain.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna
Okay, no, it's great, I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
some of them are in decent shape and then some of them aren't. So I
Some
think
are,
it's-
exactly.
Yeah, unless you're matching it, you know, with the same kind of materials, it's a tough one to just repair little
Yeah.
pieces of it. I mean, that's happened over the years.
Right.
Right.
But it's great. It's a
The
great-
one
great
difference,
project to
so the beds right now have a curved piece of plywood in the back.
Yeah.
And we decided that we would just use a straight piece of timber in the back and then eventually put a round bench piece over the top, so it'll still have that curved look eventually, but rather than plywood, we're gonna put the black locust
Yeah.
8x8 in the back.
Should last longer, hopefully, yeah.
Everyone says that black locust is like the last forever timber. But I've been cutting a bunch of it in my shop and it's really hard.
Is that the stuff that like, so up on Hardscrabble by the cemetery? Is that the black locust? I know it's a locust, but I don't know what,
It's got the really thick bark,
the rough
the
bark,
really rough bark.
and it's really wet.
It's pretty wet. It has a leaf similar to like a walnut, but it's it's like a,
Do we have trees that we don't?
Well,
Yeah, is there any town
we
tree?
we actually did have,
Oh, okay.
We cut them all down.
Yeah.
I've been calling all the arborists.
yeah, last year this time, we cut them all down.
Yeah, it's a funny tree because it's not really a tree.
There's some pieces of it at Red Cedar School, but I don't think any of them are big enough for what you're looking for.
Yeah, but we're actually gonna start this week. Pondbrook, 7th and 8th graders are working with us Wednesdays. 5th graders from Bristol Elementary will be working with us on Tuesdays. And we'll first start with removing the plants around the border as well as the soil.
Right.
So that's already kind of happening, some of the schools are cutting back, and then I'll be working with the kids to really do that aspect of it. And then we'll get into removing the timbers, and we're gonna try to go one or two at a time, removing of soil and plants, move on, while then the timbers are being removed, we're kind of working around. Yeah.
Just need to set up some sort of time-lapse camera so you can capture.
Right, exactly.
the
I know,
entire
that would be
project.
really cool.
Can be mounted on the
Yeah.
structure.
Yeah.
But yeah, the kids will be making some signs that say, please pardon the construction, be careful, like safety signs, but also
Yeah.
make it look, cute
Yeah.
as well.
Well, hopefully they have all their chainsaw certificates.
Yeah, so I would love to hear if there's any concerns about just disruption, noise, and just getting access to some cones and maybe some parking barriers.
Yeah, I think, you've obviously given us a lot of knowledge about it. I think it's just a matter of starting the project and seeing what happens.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're taking into consideration all the safety aspects of removing that material and bringing new in, so it sounds good to me, yeah.
Yeah, I think you'll wanna cone your area off the night before.
The
so
night
that when
before.
you show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Eric, do you have cones that they could use?
Bruce probably has no parking signs.
You have some of those like sawhorse, no parking kind of.
No, I have cones,
Just
I have
cones.
some no parking signs.
Parking signs.
Okay.
We'll make things work.
Thanks, Bruce.
Yeah,
We got a stack of those Addison County, the old Addison County, I think they're worked by the dryer.
Yep.
So if you need more, just reach out.
Okay.
Reach out to Brett.
Alright, excellent.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for the update.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Water commissioners consider request at 63 Basin Street for Jordan Douglas.
This is obviously discussed
Last,
2 weeks ago.
yeah.
And now this is the actual connection. Everything has been sent through. Jill has written the specifications, a letter. I don't know if you want to add anything to that, Jill, in terms of this particular connection.
Nope, I think they intend to use the CTS. I did
Yeah.
write this for the previous meeting in knowing that it could go either way. So at this point, I do believe that the contractor would like to use CTS and that the homeowner would like to proceed with that as well. And therefore, they will need to make sure that they get the, hopefully the tracer wires there, and that they get the I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's like a little access box.
What did you call it before, the snake box?
Yeah, it's like a Cobra. I think they sell them at EJ Prescott. I acquired a couple for the water department that could then, as the town and water department, sell them to contractors, so they don't necessarily have to go to the contractor get that very specialized item. And that way they're standardized through town because they need to have the blue cover, etc., and be you know, the right brand, the right depth, all of it.
Are you gonna be on site to be able to confirm all of this?
I
In
have to
terms of,
be.
yeah, material and everything like that, so you'll just
Yeah,
work
so
out.
basically the way that it's supposed to work is they're supposed to submit what they want to use for material and say, here's the cut sheets on what we want to use. Do you approve it? And then they schedule the date that they're gonna do the install. And I
Okay,
witness it.
Well, the problem with this one is that at the time, they thought they were only gonna be able to use the copper, right? That's what's on the plans.
Well, you're in luck. So the blue CTS is already installed, the copper is what's on the plans.
right,
So,
so,
I believe it's just an administrative item for
For Kevin.
designer to just make the state aware that the material has changed. And then in our service line inventory, we will note the appropriate materials and also be able to see what's on the town side. So the other piece that's in here is when when the contractor digs down to the curb box, I'm going to need to actually witness the installation and connection and make sure that the curb works and that I can see what the material is on the other side of the curb. So this one,
This is the one that you wanted to know was copper on the opposite side of the curb box.
I just want to make sure it's not galvanized.
Yeah.
Yep.
It
Because if it
shouldn't
is,
be,
we're
it
gonna want to
shouldn't be that.
keep digging and
Yeah.
replace the other side on the town. So,
Yeah.
because it wouldn't be a material that we'd want to leave in the ground.
right, and this is a connection that hasn't been used for a few years, correct?
I think it's been since like 13, so like 12 or 13 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you say they already put the material in the ground, or they have the material there?
Oh, I believe that there is CTS and tracer wire in the ground from
Okay,
from the dwelling, future dwelling, to the very close to the box.
okay, and you'll be verifying that to make sure the tracer wire is there and everything
Just
is
to make
correct?
sure that it's the right tracer wire, that it's to specification, that it goes length to length, that that's the true 250 PSI CTS pipe, just to make sure we don't want anything that's lower pressure and popping. There's
Okay.
plenty of pressure right there. That's like one of the higher pressure areas is Basin Street, South Street, etc. It's the highest pressures in the system.
If for some reason it's not the right materials, what happens then?
It gets dug up and changed.
They would need
Okay.
to be replaced with the approved materials, either copper or CTS with the
Okay.
tracer wire.
Because it sounds like this project was done before we approved it, is that correct?
It was
Okay.
in
Is there any-
anticipation.
Yes, is there any recourse with that?
It wasn't connected to the public water system, so it's on private property. So again, I retain the hey, that's not able to be approved yet. You'd want to make an application, and has been approved now. It is in the construction specifications in the ordinance, so very, good timing.
Yeah.
Pick my battles.
I think moving forward, it's an education piece, and we just have to make sure that contractors know that
You can't just do it.
you can't just do it. You have to notify ahead of time.
Yeah, I mean,
that's-
it'll save any like wasted time or wasted material if perchance something doesn't meet the specification.
Yeah.
Okay, be sure to update us when you witness that or make sure it's what it is, can you let us know?
Yes, for certain. I'll let you guys know. I'm sure that after this meeting, and if there's an approval, they'll want to get it scheduled. And then I'll be able to witness what's going on and see the connection, and it should be, I always take pictures, so We'll have all
Right.
kinds of
Yeah.
photo evidence of what's going on.
And also let us know what you find in the ground for the town side as well.
Uh-huh. I'm hopeful, but I'm not
Yeah, given the,
given, well, technically the replacement line that went in is when the water system moved from Lincoln over to off of South
Yeah.
Street on
In
Pump
the
House Road,
90s.
which was like 95. So it's actually kind of new.
okay, well,
Well, I'm
let's hope
hopeful.
it is. Okay, that's great.
Kinda new, 95, kinda new.
I mean,
Well, it's
kinda
newer
new.
than the rest.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Do
Okay, super, thank you,
I
Joe.
don't have a motion yet, do I?
I'll make a motion to accept the, water connection for 63 Basin Street with Jill's recommendations or whatever you wanna call them, stipulations.
I'll second that.
Further discussion?
Jordan has just joined us. Jordan, just so you know, we had just talked about this particular agenda item and we were just about to approve it, hopefully. We spoke with Jill, she gave us the details about what's happened, she'll be witnessing, and just checking, obviously, that it was the right material that was put in with the tracer wire, and then she's gonna check on the town side. I don't know if you had anything else to add to it.
Oh, thanks for updating me, and I just got home, so I have nothing else to add. Thank you.
Okay,
Alrighty.
excellent.
Hearing nothing else, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye,
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
excellent. Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you.
Select Board Roundtable. Ian,
Nothing from me.
Jessica,
I don't think I have anything yet. Next time.
next time.
Oh, no, I
Yeah.
do things.
Jesus.
Go around. Sorry, I realize I do have other things, sorry.
Michelle,
I got nothing.
go ahead, Ian.
I sent a couple of sort of roughed out proposals to base camp for the board to look at. One of them was related to the townwide police discussion. We're obviously losing time. We've spent some time on that with the intern, student intern, and that's been useful to sort of pull some data, but there's a bunch of things that need to happen before that we put that question on the ballot. I did find out, we had talked before about the actual legal aspects. Does one thing have to be abolished before another can happen?
Right.
And it seems to be in my research that it can just be a single question and it's the entire town that would,
It can't be.
yes, it can.
How can the,
Because, can I finish?
yeah.
Okay, so looking at the original document.
The
Yes.
the charter?
Correct.
Charter doc.
Yeah, if we read that, and if I read it correctly, and I think I am, if you want to increase the district, it's a 2-vote system. You vote for the district people to say, I want the district to be bigger, we want to include the school, or J Drive, or whatever. And then you have the townspeople vote, and they vote to either yes or no on that. So that's the double vote. If it's something where you're abolishing the district and you're going town-wide, it's a single vote. And the vote, what it does is essentially is one thing is replacing the other. And so if it passes, the town, it becomes part of our general budgeting for town-wide. If it fails, it remains as the district.
Isn't that
We'll
kind of,
doubly, triply check that.
because that's kind of
My
a
understanding
double
and
standard. It's like, aren't you, by going town-wide, isn't that expanding the district?
No, it's not, it's
No.
different. A district is a district, it's a special district. By town-wide, it's no longer the district, it's town-wide, similar to the fire department. So that's, from my reading it and researching it, that's, because I thought too it was the double thing, but the double thing is only to expand the district. And I think we've always had that in our head, because like, oh, we're expanding it to be town-wide, but really, we remove the district. But we can.
Well, I'm just curious, because there are people, and it's gonna be an education thing, there are people in the district who don't want it to grow. There are also people in the district who do want it to grow.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we can come up with a single
Yeah.
question that covers both.
I
So-
just-
So it's very clear what you're voting for, either a yes or a no.
Yeah, I understand
But there
that,
are many
but-
more
but
things we need to do before that, obviously.
if they didn't wanna do it, if the district didn't wanna do it.
You would vote no. 'Cause
I understand you would vote no, but you could be overridden by, yeses from the whole
Town.
town.
Correct.
The whole town.
Yes.
And then, so then the
Or
district.
overridden by no by the whole town.
Yeah.
Correct.
Vice versa.
Yeah.
Vice versa, too.
Right,
Yeah.
Yeah, which is what it is. I mean, you're opening up, by doing that, that's how we
Right.
open it up, and it's the only way to do it.
Mhm.
So
It'd
we're
be a
not,
tight timeframe.
yes.
Mhm.
So, I mean, we have some of the research in there that was part of that proposal, but we need to do more, obviously, we are running out of time. And then the second proposal I sent was for the water line project. We have the separate project, which is the service line, customer
I see
service
that.
line replacements. And so I was trying to get a better handle on how we want to do that. We have currently 19 unknowns in the west side that we need to find out what they are. And if they become part of the 40 knowns that are either galvanized with one lead. So we know we have at least 40 service lines on the customer side that need to be replaced. And we need to figure out how we're gonna do that.
If the state says we find out that it's galvanized or lead, it needs to be replaced. I think we just send these people a message. Jill's been working at this for a year and a half now. We send a letter out saying that if you don't let us in, so that we can verify what your line is, when we replace the lines in the system, if it's deemed that your line is one of the ones that's not accepted, you will not have water until it's replaced.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's the rules we're having to play by, if that's if the lines need to be, at this point, either copper or CTS, then
Yeah.
I mean, sooner or later, we've gotta be the heavy and make sure it gets done.
Some of the 19, we can look at that list and say, oh, I know that person, but there's gonna be a certain number that none of us know, and it's just knocking on doors again. But it needs to be done because we don't really have the time. I mean, this project will start next April, more than likely. We don't have a timeline of what streets will be done first, but we do need to have a whole plan in place, and we also need to sort of, probably in the proposal, I've suggested it's a full project that we put up with an RFP to get a contractor to just handle customer service line replacements. And we need to figure out and get bids for that at the same time that we're also bidding out for replacing all the other lines. Because the minute we touch one of those service lines on the customer side, it needs to be replaced, especially if it's on that list.
Yeah.
So we need to be ready for that. So there's, again, not a lot of time, so.
Ian, are you suggesting that the town go on the customer's property to do those replacements? Because that requires legal easements, and that was why we were not stepping into the town taking any kind of responsibility for the customer side, because that gets really expensive.
Well, I'm not suggesting that, but I'm suggesting setting up the methodology to create that project. Because if we don't, if we do nothing now about that, when we're replacing a main line and a curb stop on, say, Pleasant Street, and we've touched that customer service line, that needs to be changed, right? So the customer will have to have it all set up before we even get to that spot to replace their line. Or am I misunderstanding what it means?
You're right, but at the same rate, I like Peaker's idea of sending the 19 a letter, please communicate with us, et cetera, et cetera. And if it's indeed an unacceptable material and the change happens, that we're just gonna shut the water off until they replace the line. Because it's not flow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I don't think we'll have to do that, but I think that's for the 19. For the other 40 that we have, the one that's lead and the rest of it galvanized, doesn't the town, not that we're.
We need a plan.
Yeah, we need a plan for that, because we need to set up, we need to let every single one of those 40 people know that they need to replace their service line in the next 2 years, and how much it might cost and who was gonna do it.
So what you're trying to do is get a number for these people to say, this is the contractor who's willing to do it, and then it'll be about this amount of money, and then
Yes.
you can contract them or whoever you choose to.
I think we need to
To
do
do
as
that.
much hand-holding as possible, because we're gonna get to a point, if we don't do that, we're gonna be literally on a road where we're digging up stuff, and we're gonna hit a customer's line that needs to be replaced, and if they don't have it ready to be replaced, they're gonna not have any water.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know what the case is, if like they didn't set something up and we touch their line, do they not have water anymore? Like, it's a huge thing.
The way that they wrote that rule is far more painful for the water system. We have to start taking water samples on a very regular basis at the customer's residence because their side is galvanized or lead. It's like reversely punitive to the water
Yeah.
system. And
Well,
I'm not up for that.
I think we need to get a plan, we need to get a number and say, this is what's available to you, or you can find your own.
Yeah,
And you need to be ready to do it.
yeah. I think it's easier for us to do an RFP, but that means we have to have contracts signed with those 40 people, or let's say it's, 60 people, if all the unknowns turn out to be galvanized. That means a contract for 60 people's lines to be replaced. And we talked about the ability for some of those people to pay, whether we can offer the revolving loan fund at a certain low percentage to be able to accommodate that. So we need to look at the legal side of the revolving loan fund. Chris has mentioned that before, like just making sure that it falls under the purview of that the project, that fund, and whether we can ask that. I think that, you want it as easy as possible for people to replace their line, because like right now, unless someone's watching this at home who is on that list, they don't know at all that they need to replace their line potentially as early as next April or
Well,
May.
they should, did we tell them that it was gonna have to be replaced when we were doing the inventory, Jill?
I could check the language, but we did suggest that there may be a requirement, there will be a requirement for lead line replacements, and there may be a requirement for galvanized line replacements. The way that the rule is written, if you can't state that there was never a lead gooseneck or never a lead service line, if you don't know what the material is or you don't know how it was connected, you can't certify that there was never lead connecting on the galvanized line. If you can say it's galvanized and it's brass, there was never lead here since 1905, then it's not required to be replaced because you can certify that there was never lead getting into the galvanized line.
Jill, how do we do that then? So it, potentially out of the 39 galvanized, if someone could prove that there was never a lead gooseneck, we don't need to replace, so that would take our numbers down, but how do we do that?
It's on the main. It's on the main where the town owns it. It's so convoluted.
Okay, so the 40 that we have as galvanized, are those confirmed as being connected to a lead gooseneck and so do need to be replaced?
Nope.
Because
They're
that's the list.
currently as unknown because we don't know if there was ever a lead gooseneck or if there is a lead gooseneck at the main because we've not seen it.
And there won't be once we replace the main.
Okay.
There
All right,
won't
we're gonna
be.
dig a little bit deeper into
It's
that
so
list.
it's so weird how it's being.
Well, it's very convoluted because once the lead once that main is done, that gooseneck is gone.
Yeah, okay. All right, so those are the two things I'm working on.
So you'll have to, basically, if you expose it, you're gonna have to document what it was,
Yeah.
pictures, whatever.
But they won't expose it. They won't dig up the old main, they'll put the new one in and leave that connected until they switch over.
Mhm.
So you'll never see the existing main
Nope.
unless they hit
There's
it.
a
We have
whole lot of
we have to
guessing.
be we have to be very clear then, because you may have customers who say,
It's not lead.
that's right, I can't afford to replace my line, I'm not going to, you prove to me that it needs to be replaced.
It's galvanized and we don't accept it.
Well, that's, yeah.
At some point,
That's probably the end
we have to
point,
draw
right?
the line in the
Yes,
sand.
So,
It's one of those things, I hate to do it, but
I know.
if our leaks are being caused by service entrances that are galvanized, then you know,
Yeah,
If the leak's going through their meter and they wanna pay for it, happy to do it.
right, no, I know. So that's what so those two documents are in Basecamp, please take a look at those and provide feedback, because we need to, that needs to be moved upon.
are you done now?
Yes, sorry. It's fine.
Town administrators report.
Just give you a brief update on what I've been working on over the last couple of weeks. I've been conducting a fiscal analysis of the town, internal evaluations of our systems, processes, communications, working on town administration policies for staff inside, as well as grant contractual stuff, Davis-Bacon, BABA, things that we operate within grants to ensure that we're up to snuff, so when we get audited in the future, we have these things in place, procurement policies. Additionally, me and staff are working through outdated ordinances, and we'll have recommendations for you to update some of those. I'm working with Addison Economic Board of Development, looking at some northern border infrastructure support potentially. And some current projects and forecasting and stuff like that, so. I'll have more to follow.
Sounds like you will. Any other business for the good of the order? Correspondence reports?
We do,
Correspondence
I'm
received?
sorry,
Oh,
Jessica sent in a correspondence and I blanked on it earlier. Sorry, Jessica.
That's okay. I think it was sent to everybody. It was the taking up the animal ordinance again. I think we all got that email.
Yeah.
The one from Dennis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Executive session. And we have to add personnel to that too, please.
I make a motion, enter into executive
Thank you, Jeff.
session for 1 VSA section 313 for attorney-client privilege, or attorney-client communications and personnel, and I invite Kevin Brown to join us.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Bye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Evening, folks. Hey,
Hey,
I'm Kevin.
I'm Greg, nice to meet you. Thanks for being here.
And you have a new alternate.
Oh, good.
Yes, he was.